Hi, I'm Kel, and this is my Sharuum the Hegemon EDH deck. Start off with the basic lands. I've got 2 of each. I've got 2 islands, 2 swamps, and then 2 plains. There's not too many basics in this deck because a big combo in here involves land destruction of basics. Academy Ruins, very utility land, lets me bring back any artifact. I don't do the Mindslaver thing. It turned out to be not fun on one-on-one, so we voted for it to go out. Strip Mine takes care of those nasty Gaia Cradles. I don't get my Taurian Academy. You don't get your Gaia's Cradle. Maze of Ith takes care of any big beater that's a big issue. You can also be political with it and save other people's lives. I've done that before too. It gets really fun. Mishra's Factory. It's a free artifact. That's always nice. Reliquary Tower. I love having an unlimited hand size. Marsh Flats is a fetch land. I don't really need to explain that. Darksteel Citadel, an indestructible land, free artifact. It's amazing with Glimmervoid. Vault of Whispers, another artifact. The best artifact land because it's blue. Bojuka Bog. I know these type of effects are very powerful in EDH, but I was not aware how powerful this one was until it was used on me. Ancient Den, it's another artifact. Minamo, School at Water's Edge. Legendary land, you know, other people run it, that can be an issue, but it comes into play untapped and it's blue, and it gives my general pseudo-vigilance. Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth, another, you know, people run this card, which can kind of be lame, but this allows me to target any of their non-basic lands with Sundering Titan. Shizo, Death's Storehouse. It's great for getting through for those last few points on a token deck that has a lot of blockers. Verdant Catacombs, dual land mana fixing. Arcane Sanctum, mana fixing. Same thing. Dromar's Cavern, really good card. Lets you bounce your Bojuka Bog back to reuse it. Comes into play untapped so you still get your mana. Glimmervoid, any color, always nice. Another bounce land. More Bojuka Bog shenanigans. Mana fixing. I never really use this as a creature unless I have to. It doesn't do enough. It's good, but I prefer artifacts any day. Watery Grave. Fetchable, Island Swamp. Plains Island. Plains Swamp. Old School Duels. Plains Island. Plain Swamp, Swamp Island. We're at the enchantments. I don't have much, which, being as I run Open the Vaults, is kind of a shame because, you know, it's an entirely new outlet that I could abuse. But being as my main focus is artifacts, I don't have too many. But Oblivion Ring answers pretty much everything. Ore of Silence, with a Mycosynth Lattice out, this vindicates anything, which I'm a big fan of, done it a lot. I don't run too many non-artifact creatures. All the ones I do, they search for artifacts. I tried to keep a strict theme going on, but after Stoneforge Mystic came out, I broke it. And then from there, I put 2 more in. I've got Stoneforge Mystic for equipments, Treasure Mage for the big guys, Trinket Mage for my senseis, or Soul Ring if I already got it. Tezzeret, he's super fun on so many levels. He's a Garruk with artifact lands. Neg-X can get anything. My favorite thing I've done with him is I had Unwinding Clock, which untaps every artifact on each player's upkeep, and I turned him into an Veneral's Disc that saved me from losing the game. Venser the Sojourner, I've had a lot of fun with his +2. I abused Bojuka Bog probably the most effectively I could with a Sword of Body and Mind. Tezzeret, Agent of Bolus, +1 gives you almost a guaranteed card every turn. Neg 4 for some really nasty life gain. Can generally kill an opponent with Mycosynth Lattice. Vindicate destroys any permanent. It's always good. Beacon of Unrest is Sharuum's ability, but better. You can target your opponent's stuff, which is always nice. Shuffles itself back in. Open the Vaults for some massive recursion. You know, people like to play WoG effects, and then I like to undo all the work. I've been considering Second Sunrise in here as well, because that's an instant speed, and I get all my ETB triggers on all my artifacts again. Fabricate. Gotta love tutoring. Get those combo pieces. More tutors. Got my WoG effects, Life's Finale, Day of Judgment, Wrath of God. This used to be Damnation, but it's much better for Decree of Pain. I get to draw cards, really good against tokens. I can also instant speed neg2 to save for some combat tricks. Dispatch. This used to be Swords to Plowshare. Kinda miss it because I can't turn my creatures into life if I need to, but if I get rid of their creature, there's no drawbacks at all. It's just gone. Path to Exile. Amazing card. Used it for mana ramp, used it for removal. Just works all around. Thirst for Knowledge. I love drawing during my opponent's turn. Plus, this is great for setting up Sharuum. Put a Darksteel Forge in the graveyard. Play Sharuum. She's indestructible. They have very, very little time to respond to that. Enlightened Tutor. Can tech out with Thirst for Knowledge. Don't always do stuff like that. It's just nice to be able to get the O-Ring or get a combo piece whenever you need it. Mystical Tutor. I hate to admit this, but I've actually tutored for tutors before, because I'd rather just put a demonic tutor on top and not let them know what I'm getting. Mystical Teaching searches for a flash. I used to have that Quicksilver Myrrh, I think his name is. The 3-cast artifacts have flash. And so this went in. That one actually got cut, but this stayed in. It's really good. It searches for a creature with flash and an instant, but it's got flashback too. So late game, if you have 10 mana at the end of their turn, which has happened before, you put 2 cards directly into your hand, which is always nice. Stoic Rebuttal. Metalcraft's really easy, so it's another just regular counter spell. Rewinds my bad Force of Will. Counter target spell and tap 4 lands. Mindbreak Trap. It's in here because there's some combo decks in my area, and it exiles it so they can't use Besiege You, who shelters all. Plus, I've activated it for free a few times, which is always nice. Cryptic Command. It's my new altered cryptic. It's pretty. And it just does everything. I love it. Counter Squall. I used to have Punish Ignorance, which isn't too great. This isn't much better, but it's less mana intensive, so yeah, it's in here. Assert Authority. Generally cost me 2. It's a cheap fairy trickery, so that's awesome. Autograph Force of Will. Days. Not too useful, not gonna lie, but it's always nice when they tap out just to mess with their plans. Foreign Counterspell. Hinder tucks away their generals. Counter target spell, put it at the top or bottom of their library. Put away their general at the bottom. I don't use this often on non-general spells unless I have to. Lightning Greaves. 2 casts, equip 0, equip creature as Shroud and Haste. It's always nice with a Stoneforge Mystic to just surprise something out really fast. 6 mana puts Sword and Feast and Famine on one of your creatures, which will then untap all your lands, which is always nice to do. Umezawa's Jitte. If you have it, you run it. Sword and Feast and Famine. Awesome spell. Untaps all your lands, which is great for control. Plus they discard a card. It's just pure control. Sword of Body and Mind. Counterproductive with Open the Vaults, but it gives me another creature, which I don't run a terribly large amount, which is always helpful. War and Peace to hit their planeswalkers. Sophie's cool and all, but I don't need a lot of draw in this deck. I seem to do fine without it. And instead of doing just 2 damage to a planeswalker, I can do a lot more than that. Not saying Sword of Fire Ice isn't good, I just preferred in one of my other EDH decks, and this one and this one. Etch Champion, because he's got protection from all colors most of the time. Master of Ethereum, his power and toughness equal to number of all the artifacts you control. Other artifact creatures get +1/+1. Solemn Simulacrum. Phyrexian Metamorph is an amazing card. Master Transmuter. Duplicate. Wormcoil Engine. Steel Hellkite with a Darksteel Forge out is generally game. Sundering Titan destroys all one of each land type. With Urborg out, I hit their pesky non-basics. I don't run too many basics, so this hardly hits me. I do believe I have 6 basics and then 6 dual lands, but not too many people know this. If you have the blue-black dual land, you can target that for an island and a swamp and just destroy that one, as opposed to having to hit both of your duels. So that's always helpful. Sphinx Sovereign. Filigree Angel. With Mycosynthelatus out, your life total becomes ridiculous. Not too many people can touch you from there. Soul Ring, 1 mana for 2, always nice. Mana Vault, 1 mana for 3, even better. Senseis should be in every EDH deck. Voltaic Key, amazing. Sculpting Steel. Crucible of Worlds for those pesky land destruction decks. Memory Jar. Minerals Disc. Unwinding Clock, because Seedborn Muse for my artifact deck was just awesome. Mirror works to clone anything I want. Gilded Lotus. Mycosynthelatus breaks this deck. And Darksteel Forge, the most controversial card in my play group. If this resolves and I have a counter spell, generally I don't lose. Thanks for watching CMDR decks. Please subscribe and favorite.